Alright guys, thanks for tuning back in for this next episode. Like I said, today we're going to be working on the Rat Rod wagon that is now full rolling chassis. As you saw in the intro with Test Dummy Logan, we now have a rolling chassis. The only thing that I did actually screw up on, I'm going to be honest about, guys, is as you can see, the steering is backwards. So when you turn this way, the wheels go the other way. When you turn this way, the wheels go the other way. That was my fault. I screwed that up. But that's an easy fix. I just have to flip the thing around on the steering shaft. However, I did promise you guys that I had something special figured out for the seat. Something that I was going to do to make the seat a little bit better with the go-kart and what's going on with it. I want to show you guys that now. So come around here, the backyard, and we'll see what I got in store for you here. This old lawnmower back here's got exactly what we need for that seat for that go-kart. Right here. Here we'll be able to take this Springer seat off this old lawnmower that I've got back here, and we're going to bolt it to the new seat I got for the go-kart. What do you guys think? That'll make the ride a little bit smoother, don't you think? Alright, we're going to see if we can get this off. And doesn't look like it. Well, okay guys, so I got it mocked up in here. I really think that's going to work out pretty good. I just got to drill some holes, bolt it down, and get the seat bolted to it, and that should give us quite a bit of a improved ride, I think, for the whole thing. So I got the seat bracket installed. I don't have the seat bolted down yet, but I got to go buy some more hardware for that. But I also fixed my mess up with the steering. So now, if you look here, you turn the steering wheel this way, the wheels go that way. Now you turn the steering wheel this way, and the wheels go the correct way. Okay, so that's an improvement over my screw up and everything else. So now the next step is going to be, I bet you guys have been wondering, where are your feet going to go? Well, the next part we're going to do is I'm going to weld these plates, these in place here, and I'm going to reinforce it, of course, and then I'm going to weld some of this expanded steel onto it, and that's going to get us a good place for our feet to sit while we're riding, and the pedals are going to go right in front of them so that we'll have a good spot for our pedals. Alright, so I got my side piece pedal situation all mocked up. I'm going to go ahead and get it welded in, and then we're going to measure in for the bracing and start working on the expanded steel. Let's get it going. laziness has officially kicked in, and I've got this thing welded in, and I'm about to start welding in these braces. I was gonna do 3, but at this point, I'm kind of thinking that might just be enough. What do you guys think? You think that's enough? I mean, I think after I get all that welded down, that should be more than enough support. But we're about to find out, because that's what we're doing. That's where we're at with it. Okay. That seems like that ought to work. Yeah, just got to get the pedals figured out. Well, of course, I got to get the other side done, but that might just about work. Of course, everything's just tagged in, but that looks about like it might work. All right, so now I'm going to try weld up the bottom part of this here step, and we're going to see how well that goes. And of course, after I'm done with this one, I'm going to get started on this one. But as soon as I get done with the bottom half of this welding, I'm going to move on to the expanded steel. So progress has been made. I got one side step completely finished, at least as good as I'm going to get it for right now. I think I'm going to have to do some extra redneck engineering on it here in a little bit, but as of right now, it's doing pretty good. And I got the other side welded on. I just got to get the braces and the expanded steel on, but let's take a look at it. Not too bad. She's a 10-footer. From about 10 foot away, she looks like shit. But from 20 foot, she looks like $1,000,000. Looks like she was done professionally. I think that right there is going to be where we're going to stop for tonight. I'm going to do some more on this in the morning. The next thing I'm going to do after I get the other side piece in is I'm going to work on the front bumper. And I'm going to think about trying to put the engine plate on. I'm going to take the engine off of the red go-kart and put it on here temporarily just so I can get it mocked up so I know where to weld it and get all that figured out. I'm also going to put an extra brace in there for that engine plate, make sure everything's kosher. I've also got to, do some more welding. I got to do some braces on the back. And I'm even thinking about trying to build a grill of some sort on the front end of this to make it look even cooler than it already does. But so far, guys, based on where we started with just a wagon tub and some angle iron, I think we've accomplished something. I think this is starting to look really good. Let me know what you think. All right, guys, it is the next day, and progress has been made. Unfortunately, I didn't film all of this. Sorry, guys. I just really had to buckle down and get the work done. But check it out. We got both of the steps installed. And I know what you're thinking. That looks a little different than it did yesterday. And there's a reason for that, because apparently it is very difficult, near impossible, in fact, to weld 18 gauge expanded steel. Who did not? Like I said, give me some grace. This is my first ground up project. I'm learning as I go with it. So, but in my personal opinion, that is really starting to look like something. Now, the next part that I am actually going to film is we're going to work on this front bumper apparatus here. That right there is going to be my front bumper. I just got to get it attached to this front horns here. Now, we are going to finish off the front end of the go-kart, which is honestly the last thing that we need to be doing before we get the engine mounted and get the pedals and everything else fixed up, which is the last bit we're going to do before we start riding this thing. So, plan is I'm going to notch these bottom pieces. I'm going to fold them up so that it's got a nice slant there at the bottom part, and I'm going to weld in this big piece of round tubing on the front end here. So let's get started. got it done now. It's time for the big reveal at the end of the video. All right, guys. So we got a lot done in today's video. We got the steps installed. I got the seat fully attached, the steering rack. All of that is lined out like it's supposed to be. I got the front bumper installed. We got a lot done today. Unfortunately, this is going to be the end of the video for today. In the next episode, though, we are finally going to be installing the engine. And another piece of trivia, we might also be, at some point, building an engine for this one. We're going to temporarily take the engine off of the red go-kart and move it over to this one just to get it started and, see what this thing will do. However, I still want to try to use this generator engine that I've got over here, but I think I'm going to have to build it. Which, if you guys would like to see that, please comment. Let me know. I really think that that'd be really cool for me to do the first engine build on the channel. I would like to put a new crank, a new side cover on it, put a new flywheel on it, new valve springs, and take the governor out and see if I can't get just a little bit more performance out of that engine for this one. I think that'd be really cool way to do this rat rod project and really cap the thing off with a secondhand built, at least semi-built engine. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.